Bring it back.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at Total War Arena. So this is the first Total War game we'll have featured on this channel, and it's currently the closed beta in the open weekend. So if you've not got this game yet, you've got all weekend. It is now, I think it's now the 4th of November. You've got all day today, all day tomorrow, before it closes, I believe, tomorrow evening. So it sort of had a bit of a long development process, this game. I was originally part of the closed beta or closed alpha team about a year ago, when this game sort of first came to light. I've still got all the original installation files, and they did this game and it was a bit crap, basically. It wasn't very popular, it received a lot of negative reviews, and instead of trying to sort of just improve it, they basically pulled back, removed it from public access, made sure no one could get on it, and they've been reworking it. A couple of months ago, it hit alpha, closed alpha, and this is now the first sort of open public release that they have available. And so we're back, and we're going to have another look at it. So I've been playing this a little bit, just sort of on my own to get the hang of it again, and obviously I have played it before, so I have a bit of an idea how it works. So basically, you have commanders. It's not very much like the other Total War games. There's no city building, no building buildings, no building up armies in that sense. Instead, you have a commander. So the three empires, the Romans, the Greeks, and the barbarians. Each has a choice of commanders, which you have to get so much experience to unlock, or you can buy them with gold. Each commander has a rank. The more you play each commander, so I've been playing as Germanicus, gains more experience, and then he unlocks different sort of power-ups. So I've got heavy infantry charge you start off with, and then you can unlock Testudo, so to protect you from missiles, and that sort of thing. And you can make use of all these buffs and things in game. Then your commander can take 3 units into battle. So if I switch to the unit tabs, these are my 3 units. I'm going to go with milites, but my Latin is not great, so I could be wrong. And then these units can also be upgraded. It kind of works a little bit like World of Tanks in this sort of sense. You play battles, each squad earns experience. You can then buy upgrades like an improved helmet, better shields, swords, and then once you've upgraded these equipments, and upgrading these improves the stats, gives them more damage. More defense, more health, that sort of thing. And then once you've done that, you can upgrade to the next unit class, which is the Senshi, whatever that is. So we can look at this in the tech tree, and this is really World of Tanks like. So you start off with the Pedites, which is what I've got, which I had, but I've now got to the second rank, which is the Milites. And as you can see, you can keep upgrading until you get to the units like the Evocati, Centurions, Legionaries, everything classically Roman that you would expect. And then you can look at the barbarian tech trees through Arminius, and you get similar sort of things. So without further ado, let's pop back to the front, change back to our Germanicus, since he's the one I've got all the experience with, and let's hop into a battle. Because it's an open beta weekend, quite a few people seem to be in the game, so the battle loading times don't seem to be too long, generally about 30 seconds. But let's skip ahead, and I'll see you in the battle. So guys, welcome back to a battle for the Capitoline Hill. Everyone's about loaded in, and once you load in, you will then see you get to pick a choice of spots of where you want to load in. I've just selected this back spot here, since I've got a bit of explaining about the game to do. I want to give myself a bit more time. Obviously, once someone else in your team has selected a spot, you can't use it, so you do have to be quick in selecting the spots you want. So this is your base, this blue flag here, and this is the enemy base, the red flag over here. Obviously, if I haven't explained already, I haven't realised, all these are real players, and all the people you're going to be facing are also real players. So, it is like a sort of a massive PvP match in Total War. So, you've got your 3 units. I've got my 3 milites, which I'm now going to try and get to sort of form up into formations. There we go. So we've got friendly players dotted all over the map, and let's just start advancing in to support Capifin here. So as you get closer, you'll spot enemy units. So these are enemy cavalry units, look. So these are barbarian cavalry. So if they get sort of into a long drawn out fight, generally they won't do very well. But if they can get round behind someone who's not paying attention, then they can be particularly effective. You also get archers, slingers, javelins, all that sort of thing. I've got 3 close combat units, although they have got access to the peelers, like those like classic Roman throwing javelin things. That can be quite good as well. Up at the top of the screen, we can see sort of the overall numbers still alive for each team. As we now approach, so we've got some enemy heavy infantry. There, see, these are people are tier 3, so they're a little bit better than mine. So we have got to be wary of them. But I think if we're going to do this, the enemy up top are going to end up losing here. So I'm making, as I charge in, I am making full use. As we're being outflanked here. So I've pulled a unit off from the battle to try and engage these enemies over here. Now, the problem is now we are kind of caught in a bit of a trap. Our allies on top of the hill are not faring quite so well. And we've engaged 3 sort of heavy enemy infantry units down in the valley here. As two more tier 3 units have come down the hill behind us. So I've tried to pull a unit off from the battle to face these rather than them just slamming in behind into the full weight of our whole units. But these guys are just not going to last long, and I'm really only buying myself time. And unfortunately, we are not really winning against these people down here. So I don't think this is really going to fare very well for us ultimately. Because we're outnumbered and we are losing this badly. And we're all tier 2 units versus a lot of tier 3 units. Up on the hill, I wouldn't like to say things are going particularly well either. As our units just get smashed into by the enemy cavalry there. Our little infantry are just about holding out. We're heavily engaged in this valley now. We've caused some sort of casualties to them, but their morale is still holding, and we're taking just as heavier casualties. Over here, our units are sort of getting decimated now. Not very many of them left. We can look over the rest of the map, which is all sort of spread all over the place. There's cavalry charging all left and right. so as I say, it's kind of similar, probably similar to World of Tanks than it is many of the old Total War games. You don't have sort of vast armies to control like you do traditionally. Because you only get 3 units, and even when you upgrade your units, you still only get access to 3 units. That is as many as you get. Oh, look at this, they're now being slammed into the back by the enemy infantry. Not looking good. Oh, and some cavalry reinforcements just at the wrong time. Yes, I think it's safe to say we've lost this one, but I'm hoping this is giving you a bit of an idea of the game and the options we have. So we made use of pillars and things like that, peelers. There are different combat modifiers. So for example, as I've engaged these enemies to the front and then have been engaged from the back, that causes me a lot more damage being attacked in the rear, just like it would in any sort of traditional Total War game, you know. I haven't got any archers, so I can't show you that. But, you know, it's as you would expect, archers can throw the pillars quite a long way and do range damage. But it looks like some of our team have managed to get onto the enemy base. I think they might actually be able to capture this enemy base before the enemy is able to get back and defend them. So it looks like we may end up winning, which is a miracle, considering we are vastly now losing on. We are down 500 men. And there we go. Victory. So it gives you sort of a best player. Obviously, we did not perform particularly well in that game, so I wouldn't expect to be doing well. And then once we load out of the battle, we should get a stat screen about our casualties and how many men we managed to kill, which I suspect is going to be relatively low. We unlocked some achievements, Quiesta. So our commander got some experience, which has moved him close to level 3. So when he reaches level 3, he'll unlock the Testudo skill. So we've got the overview. We can look at the scores. So I managed to kill 112 people, but took 260 casualties. So while we didn't do particularly well in terms of the casualties we took, we actually contributed a reasonable amount in just terms of getting stuck in and just tying the enemy up down in that valley. We can look at detailed scores. It gives you breakdowns of how much silver you earned. You get unit experience, which we've got in all our militaries, which if we go to our squads now, you can see this is the experience just earned on these militaries. If I go back to tier 1, you see I've got spare experience on the Pedites. I cannot use this spare experience on anyone else. But I also have 1400 free experience, and free experience can be used on anyone. So look, so I've now got 1100 experience, so I'm good enough to upgrade the Gladius on these militaries. So we'll buy that and equip it on the unit. So that's increased their damage. It's giving them plus 19. So that's like a damage increase of just under 10%. So worth buying. But I haven't yet got enough experience to unlock the next unit. And that's the other thing I need to remind you of. Your commander needs to be the same level as the unit you're trying to buy. So my commander, Germanicus, is only level 2. And so therefore I cannot buy a tier 3 unit because the commander needs to be tier 3 before he can command a tier 3 unit. So I hope that's sort of given you a bit of a brief overview of the game. I have been quite enjoying it. It's certainly a bit different to sort of many of the traditional Total War games. It's the open beta weekend, so there's no reason not to try it out. It's not a huge download. It's about 10 gigs, something like that. So relatively sizable, but not massive. I'd strongly suggest you check it out. It's open beta, so it won't be too long before we start to see this game sort of released more full time. Although I would expect by the end of the closed beta weekend that this is probably going to be reset, so don't spend any gold or anything because I doubt you're going to get it back before the final release. Hope you've enjoyed this video game guys. If you have, please comment below. I'm interested to see what you think about the game. Have you been playing in the open beta? What are your thoughts? Good, bad? Also like the video, and if you're feeling really generous, I'd really appreciate any subscription. It really does help the channel out. Thanks guys, and I'll see you on the next one.